Hello everyone, it's Jennifer McGuire and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to show you a very simple technique I call shape stamping. It's where you take a basic outline shape and fill it with lots of small stamped images. I am using some stamps from Newton's Nook. I'm actually a guest over on their blog today, which I will link to. And I loved this fall leaf set and I wanted to use it for a Christmas card. So that's what I'm doing here today. So here is a look at the stamp set that I'll be using. I love the leaves on here and the blessings greeting. So I'm going to use those for a holiday tree. Now I need to draw my triangle shape. So this is what I found to be the easiest. I draw a line halfway down the center of my piece here. I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece. This is the size of a note card. I end up trimming it down later, but I didn't know yet, so I start with the full size. I'm going to draw a line where I want the bottom of my tree to be, and I am totally eyeballing this. I'm just making sure there's enough room for a greeting underneath there. So now I have the center of my tree and the bottom of my tree. So I'm just putting 3 marks along those lines that will form a triangle. I'm doing about the same distance from the edges of the card. Again, I'm just eyeballing this. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now I'm going to connect those lines. Now if you don't want to eyeball it like this, you could trace a large die or a die cut shape that you may have. So I have picked 4 different colors of green ink today. These are Hero Arts and Simon Says Stamp inks. Any kind of ink would work for this technique, any at all. Now the best tip for filling in a shape with small stamped images is to start on the edges or the corners and work your way to fill in. So I start at the top with my smallest image so I could get right up into that little nook of the top of my tree, and I'm just going to work my way down. I am going to allow some of these images to overlap because I really love the effect that you get when you overlap this type of ink. You can also space them out if you prefer. Now I have 4 different colors of ink, and to make sure that I get a good variety as I go down the tree, I'm switching between the 4 colors as I go. So I have Simon Says Stamp Fern and Green Leaf, I believe, and then the Hero Arts inks I have are Lime Green and Green Hills. So you'll notice that I'm going up right to the pencil edges all the time I'm doing the stamping. Any little areas that are open, don't worry about. We're going to fill that in later. So now I'm working down the tree. It's at this point where I think it's best to switch and start going into those bottom corners because I don't want to get stuck down there with not enough room for a little stamped image to fill in. So that's why I went ahead and did this corner, and now I'll work to fill in the empty space. Now you may have lots of different stamp sets that have tiny little icons that you could use for a technique like this. And so you could use little hearts, little dot stamps, little stars, anything to form a tree or any shape you may have. I know many people have like large heart dies. You could trace that and fill it in with stamped images. So now that I have my tree basically done, you'll see there's some open spots, but we'll take care of that later. Now I'm just going to use a brown marker to just draw in a tree trunk here, just a little rectangle down there. Now for the sentiment, I wanted to use the blessings that is in the stamp set that I showed you from Newton's Nook, and I thought that that works for absolutely any occasion. Now I'm going to make it extra special by adding Christmas to it. So let's first do the blessings. I'm using my anti-static tool here so we don't get powder where I don't want it. I'm going to ink this up with Versamark ink, which is just a clear sticky ink. Then I'm going to add my favorite gold embossing powder, which is Wow Ultra Rich. This is a great gold powder, but any gold powder would work here. I'll just shake that on, tap it off, and then heat it with a heat gun. Now I wanted to make this a Christmas card, so I found this little tiny Christmas stamp message that was hidden in a stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, so I'm going to add that to it. I love mixing different brands together, especially different sentiments. So I stamped that right above blessings, and I'm heat setting that also with the gold powder. And I thought that kind of took this, this fall kind of stamp set and turned it into a holiday stamp set with just changing the greeting and stamping into the tree shape. So now I'm just going to go ahead and erase all of my pencil lines. It's time to add some embellishments to this. I have this white twine that's new from American Crafts. I love it. It's fantastic. But I wanted to color it pool color. So I'm just using my Copic marker to color it. You could use other markers if you want to. I just put the end down on the twine and pull it through a few times, and there you have colored twine. After it's dried for a little bit or you heat set it, I'm just going to tie it into a bow, and then I will glue that on the top of my tree. Now my favorite adhesive for gluing things down like this is the multi-medium from Ranger. It's a matte liquid adhesive that dries super strong and it dries matte. So if some of it kind of oozes out the side, Don't worry, you won't see it. It'll still look nice. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this guy down here. I'm not sure how short I want to trim those ends, so I'm just going to let it dry for a little bit and decide later. Now I thought it'd be fun to add some little fun to those solid stamped images, so I just took my white Uniball Signo pen and I'm just doing little dots here and there. You don't have to do this, but I thought it would be a fun way to kind of give a little more interest to these leaves since this is a pretty simple card. Now you could skip this step to make a faster card to put together, or you can make it fancier by using a silver or gold pen. Now I'm going to use a product called Stickles from Ranger. It's just, this peacock's color is clear with some pool colored glitter in it, and it dries really nice. But since it's clear, what I like to do with those stickles is to put down my color dots first with a marker. Then go put stickles right on top of it so that it's really a solid teal color when it dries. You could totally skip this step, but I think it really helps me out, and it also helps me kind of plan where I want all my dots to be, and I don't end up sticking my hand in the stickles as I work. So I put all my dots of blue down with the marker, and now I'm just going and squeezing out little drops, actually pretty good sized drops of the stickles. It's got a lot of dimension, but it'll dry a little bit down. It'll just be a little bit dimension when you let it dry, covering all those blue dots. And this is a great way to fill in those little holes that might have been left in your stamping. And at this point, I think I'm comfortable going ahead and trimming down the bow here and just leaving some of that hanging down. I really love bows on the top of the trees. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull the rest of this card together. I made this a top folding card, so I just created a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch note card with the top fold of some teal cardstock. And I actually trimmed a 1/4 inch off both sides of the stamp piece that we created. Now here's a tip that I've been doing lately. I found that if I have a big stamp panel like this and I put it on a card with foam tape, it gets squished kind of funny in the mail because it's not even. So instead, this is what I'm doing. This is a piece of white fun foam that's slightly smaller, that I've cut with my trimmer, slightly smaller than my stamped panel. And I'm going to glue that in between my card and my stamped panel. This gives it an even raised look all throughout. So this will make it through the mail in much better shape. So you still get the dimension that you would with foam tape, but it's nice and even looks better from the sides. It's a nice, even raised like platform for the entire stamped piece. So that's a little trick that I've been doing. That fun foam is very inexpensive, so it's great for using in cards like this. You can even get foam that has adhesive on one side, but I find that the regular fun foam cuts much better in my die cut machine, and then I can put my own adhesive on. And there you have it, a way you can take small images, put them together in a shape for a much larger image. Now if you're interested in the products I use, I link below in my YouTube description as always to multiple sources. Also I will link to the Newton's Nook blog where you can check out more ideas there, and you can go over to my blog at jennifermcguireinc.com. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.